Welcome back. Happy Friday. Really screwed up big time for you guys. A few videos ago, I recommended a vise that I had got. Like an idiot, I never checked it out on the granite plate. I was trying to make some plastic parallels, precision parallels, to keep over by the second mill. So I'm getting tired of running back and forth for different things since it's all over here. Turns out that after I screwed up, I tried to make one set of parallels 10 times, way off. Did finally check out the vise, and it was absolutely crooked. So I just made the 30-day Amazon return policy by one day. It went back, and I got another one. So I've been working on some small projects. This is a short video, 2 pieces in here. I'll show my new vise, checking it out, and rebuilding it, making it work. Chinese. Then I'll show, I forgot who it was. Somebody was asking me if I had any cooling on the mill. And I also saw, what is it, Active Atom, they had made a comment in one of their recent videos that you do need cooling of some sort, even on aluminum. So I'll also show, just for idea's sake, for somebody, how I added just some air cooling to my second mill. So hope you guys enjoy, get something out of it. See you next Friday. New milling vise. That other vise that I had recommended in a previous video turned out to be really crooked. Box looks okay, doesn't look like it got damaged any here in transit. Let's see, nice box in a box. So that went back for a refund. It just shifts around in there. Wow. Alright, let's do that. Holy cow. So this should be the same as the vise I have on the first mill. And it actually says Amazon, I think, on it. Taped to death. Okay. So far, so good. Yeah, okay. Same ugly, well, yeah, nuts, bolts. Same kind of ugly handle. I'll be making another handle for it. This handle is actually nicer than, well, the pin's moving around. Yeah, pin moves in there. That's interesting. Does it fall out? Huh. Wait. Oh well. This handle is actually nicer than the handle that came with the other guy. Alright, and that guy, this was not machined flat. This part, one of the rails was tilted that way on it. Oy, well, yeah, it's gonna be heavy. And the bottom goes in the drawer, because I'm not going to use this bottom piece. It really makes the finishes look terrible. Alright, throw that down there. It says HHIP. The other one too, I was going to take it apart to regrind it. These screws were missing. There's no, it was pressed on, and there's no way. I tried hammering it and whatnot. There's no way I could get it off. I hope this is as good as the first one that I bought. I don't remember that one having an HHIP sticker. Yeah, this is completely ground nice. Oh, that doesn't count because I'm not going to use that. That looks ground. That's scratched, but... Alright, how do I get that off? Get rid of these guys. Get rid of these. So this is going to go, I should have done that with the first one in the first place, is put it on the granite plate. Okay, yuck. That's disgusting. Alright, so the bottom looks pretty good. Paper towel as I drag the mic all over the place. There we go. And a paper towel. And Yeah, that looks pretty nice. It feels nice. So I'll run it on a little bit of sandpaper, I think, to make sure there's no burrs on it. Doesn't feel like it. It looks like all the edges are broken already on it. So they did a good job, huh? So that looks good. Yeah, keep getting the mic cord in the way. Oof. Alright, why did you tighten it down like that? There. Wow, that's nice and stiff. They over tightened this, I'll tell you that. That thing is that tight, but it's this surface that I care about. Oh yeah, there's grease everywhere. Boy, they really tightened this down. There, now it's getting free. Huh? Oh yeah, the pin's coming out. Look at how nice is that, guys. Phew, made in China. I'm gonna put the mic down. Go get my spinner here. Alright, I'm back. I'm gonna get this junk on my shirt. Greasy, dirty, but yeah. Yeesh. Be interesting to see if the jaws are square, because they were not square. I discovered on the first vise. Boy, they really packed this thing with oil, huh? Grease. Alright, well, I'm going to be putting this on the plate here, coming up and cleaning it up and see what there is. Well, lucky on some of it, not lucky on other stuff. First, I love the guy at the factory that assembled this. Realizing, you drop the pin in and it just falls all the way through. He doesn't care. Amazing. Alright, well, I'll probably fix and clean this up some more. Use that. First up, on the bottom, they didn't deburr this area, this, or this. I'm running a razor blade over it, and it's catching. So I had to put this on the granite plate and lap it. And then come back and deburr and clean it up more and more until I finally got it nice and flat. So, looks like a pretty good grind job on it. So, thrilled with that. On the granite plate, it's within 2/10. That's what I care about, is this surface. So I ran it here, here. They're the same height. Ran it as far as I could, back and forth on both sides. I'm within 2/10. Put the precision square here. This jaw is tilted this way. This jaw is tilted this way. That was the steel jaws. This is my other spare aluminums, which are a little bit bigger and higher. They're tilting exactly the same. I didn't bother checking the steel ones to see if they were even good. This screw was messed up. I don't know how he messed up the tip of the threads. So I retapped this, and a whole bunch of crud came out. I don't think they tapped it very well. Ran a die, rethreading die on the screw, cleaned that up. So the jaws are in place, and I'll probably, no, not probably, I will run an end mill over it to square it up and run an end mill over this one. That way I know my tram is going to be absolutely zero tilt, and I know the same way with the tram, if the mill's tilting slightly, they'll both be parallel and be perfect. I did that to the other vise. Next up, what was going on? Wish they didn't do this. I'm not about to take it apart to lap that off of it, but fine. Yeah, they did. I'll have to run a tap in here. I can see it's like black, like they coated it with something, whatever. Paint's coming off here. This guy, for some reason, got real tight and then got loose. And I kept trying to figure it out. It loosened this guy up so that I could pull on this thing and see if it was the lead screw that was jamming someplace, I'd still be able to move this with the play. When it jammed this, none of it moved, which told me this was jamming. If you can see this looks like this was handmade in India. I don't know. That turns out this where the paint's missing, it's hitting the keyway here inside on the bottom. So it starts scraping it and then it frees up. So I don't know whether I'm just going to try to file that down, grind it, or I'm most likely I'll just, because you won't see it, I'll go in here and I'll file the keyway a notch in it so it clears. But all in all, yeah, I think I'm going to accept this vise. I could order another one and see how it comes out and then return this one, but I don't really want to play around too much here. So, well, it's pretty good. I was running it in and out with the drill here to see if I could, maybe it was the sides or something like that. Maybe I could break it in, but no such luck when I discovered that's what the problem is. So, all right, HHIP, this is their Pro Series off of Amazon. $125, I think it was. The other one that I returned was like $80. So, I got a vise. All I care about is that surface. Wound up being a complete teardown here. This guy, boy, did they put the screws on there. There was a tremendous amount of force. Had to bring out a bigger Allen to break them loose. You could actually hear them snap when they broke free. And classic. Grease all underneath there. Burrs on the edge here on all of them. So it'll be interesting to see if it's square when I put it back together. It just came right out. So, which last one, I had to really hammer to get the keyway thing out of here. You can see the scrape mark where it was hitting. And I took it apart because of this mess. And you think about it, they were grinding that because of the binding problem. And I don't know, you'd wonder about some people, they're going, well, it's still binding, screw it, just ship it. Really, thanks a lot. So I put it in the mill, try to flatten it out some, then ran it on the belt sander. So that should look pretty good, I hope. It's shinier than the rest of it. I may wind up respraying this with semi-gloss rather than gloss. But yeah, it goes right in there. Yeah, I don't know. What else was there, I think? Yeah, you can see the finish here. Just fly cut. It's nothing great, but everything seems to be pretty tight. Oh, I was thinking about repainting that. Yeah, I think I got to spray this with semi-gloss. It's too bright. So I guess I finally have a vise. You know, like I said, all I care about is this surface here, that this is all nice and straight, and it appears to be. So much for rebuilding an HHIP vise. There it is, all put back together. And yeah, it's still crooked here. This is still tilting that way, but the bind is gone. It's just nice and smooth. I do need to shift this jaw. I've got this on center on both sides, so now all the screws are nice and centered because they weren't before. Actually, this one looks like it's that way. I think there's a problem with one screw, but so much. So I left the high gloss alone. It seems fine. Also looks like I should have gone back further, but whatever. So I'm happy with it. I'll just do some paint on this here soon and stick it on the mill and see how it works. For what it's worth, I'm not going to use this thing, but I got to clean it up anyway to stick it in the drawer with the other one. But I'm looking, can't lift it up. It's heavy. Ow, yeah. This is definitely nice. I mean, this is well ground. You can see all the grinding in it, you know, the finish grain, whatever you want to call it. So they did a pretty nice job here. I don't know what all the black is on this, but I had to sand it, and it's still junk coming off of it. But you ground the bottom, and I'm looking at this, and I'm really sure this is not ground. I don't know how they did this, you know, because there's like a line here, there's scratches all over it. There's no place on this surface that I can see that grinding pattern on it. And then I'm thinking too, okay, you ground the bottom, you did something with this surface, but if you guys can see this surface that this ring is sitting on, it's not ground at all. It is about as rough as you can get. Try to angle it a bit. I don't know what you guys can see. So I'm going to throw this on the granite plate just for the heck of it and just kind of see here how straight level this is. You know, this is why I don't use this thing. I don't know. So it's kind of cleaned up, good enough for now, and I'm just going to throw it in the drawer. Just wanted to share this for a second, maybe an idea for somebody else. I had bought this lock line a long time ago. This is the 1/4 inch, and made the little block for it. Had this on the other mill, the first mill, with the 1/4 18, a quick disconnect hooked up to my main compressor, but compressor's just way too noisy running. So I had put this in a drawer for a long time, and I'll show you this pump down here in a second. And I thought, you know, maybe this pump has enough airflow to work. So quickly made this little fitting here for the tubing and tried it out, and lo and behold, it's great. I wasn't really concerned with heat or that. I just wanted to keep the chips from flying on the floor. So this works perfect because it's mounted on the head. It stays in position with the cutter or the fly cutter, whatever I'm doing. But it works great, and it doesn't take very much airflow at all. Let me tilt the camera down so you can see the pump. There's the pump. It came out of some medical device, an aspirating thing. I don't know what it was, but I took that out. This is the same guy you saw I tried to make a grinder with, but I turned it on, and it's not that bad. I mean, if I get around, I'll probably get around to making a box for it. And that'll really kill the sound, but plenty of airflow. I mean, it blows chips around here. I know you can't, yeah, that's a lot of air. Here, piece of styrofoam. Oh, I gotta move the camera back, dummy. There, I mean, a piece of styrofoam, you put it here and it's blowing it. But, cool. So, just an idea for maybe somebody. To make that air fitting that you just saw on the mill, this was made for a different project. It's just a nice visual aid, I guess. But to make that fitting, I didn't have the 1/4 18 die, NPT die. My dad had a lot of stuff. He never went higher than 1/8 inch. I have the full, all the way up to an 1/8 inch tap and die. But I did have the 1/4 18 plug tap and taper tap. So I went on Amazon to look for, you know, the die, and I found one set in a wooden box that goes up to a 1/2 inch. And of course, I always read the comments to see if another machinist reviewed it or had a comment on it. And there was one comment saying, you know, this set was $30. He said it's the same quality and the same set as Harbor Freight. Go to the Harbor Freight website, and sure enough, there it is, you know, the 6-piece set. And with the 20% coupon, came to $12. So I went and got it. Pretty nice box. When you're on Amazon and stuff and you're looking at pictures, you have no clue how big or small these things are. And lo and behold, now I can understand why my dad never went up this high. Wow. Because the small guy is 1.5 inches. What's the big one? 2 1/8 inches, oddball. But, so now I understand why he never went this high, because these things are huge. I have no idea what you would use for a handle to do this. The force that I had to put on this was just ridiculous. I looked up the chart. Yeah, I'm trying to grab the monkey wrench. This is what I had to use to actually turn that. And they are really hard too, because it kept sliding on it. Luckily I could grab this groove, but I slid all over and I don't see any scratches, nothing on this set. So I looked up on the internet what size I should turn the material to. Went down 10 thousandths, and it was just ridiculous. So I took it down another 20 thousandths and was still forcing this on there. Didn't matter what cutting fluid I used. I tried the anchor lube because I know from past experiences that that's the smoothest or lets you get the furthest, and it was still fighting it. Turns out too, I had to make another device using the quarter tap. This tap made the threads and the holes, but my dad's taper tap actually cut more. So I guess the angle of this is, what do you say then? My dad's was less of an angle, is what I want to say. So it could actually go deeper. Because after I tapped with this guy, I couldn't get the plug tap to start. So I used his tap. It cut more material out. Then I could use the actual plug tap. Also, the internet said you drill a hole to 7/16. Half inch was fine. So I don't know where they come up with these numbers. So just a review on this set. Do look at it. I made the mistake of not checking it out, and it had rust on it. Luckily, 600 grit took it off. There's a little blemish here. This had it on the side, and you can't see it at all now. So they're covered in oil. But $12, not too bad. The air seems to be working pretty good. First time I've had to use it. Still a little noisy. I gotta get rid of the pump sound. But they get down and go. I don't know if you guys can see how the chip's getting blown away in the groove, but it's keeping all the chips out of the way as it does the cut, which is nice. Yeah, this is the plate for the DRO, the tablet mount. And to do this with a hacksaw would be ridiculous, so I'm just clamping it like this and cutting it off to size. And it takes a little bit, but it gets there.